OverDrive off and running. TSN 1050 on the TSN app, your home smart speaker, up on TSN 2. Brian Hayes, Dog, Jeff O'Neill, Jonas Siegel. Major League theme song to get things started.
That's got to be for only one team, because one kind of weird-looking game down at Scotiabank doesn't qualify for that song, Hazy B.
No, but repeat after me.
They're in the driver's seat.
Repeat after me. Daaa Yankees lose. How about we add the Habs into that? Daaa Yankees and Habs lose. If you're a Toronto sports fan, what a night.
What do the Jays have to do, Hazy, to turn it into a movie like Major League? Did they got to go all the way, like to make it that big of a story with Vladdy and the guys off the scrap heap and how they turned it around and they finally started winning? Like, for that to become a movie, they got to take it deep and go all the way and win it.
I think so, or at least get to the World Series, right? Like, you're still in the shadows of 15 and 16 a little bit, although they've done exactly what those teams did. They got to a championship series. But John Schneider's, he's got some Lou Brown in him, right? He's got a little Lou Brown.
Who's Charlie Sheen on this team?
I guess Hoffman. Is it Hoffman? Hoffman's pretty wild. Bases loaded last night had some Charlie Sheen vibes to it. And, yeah, like these are, you're right. Nathan Lucas, where was this guy playing? In Mexico last year? Where did Ernie Clement come from? I don't know.
That's what's incredible, the turnaround. Like, how many times do you pick up guys off the scrap heap like that become major contributors in the playoffs? And that's why it would be the incredible movie. Like, it's not just Vladdy, the superstar son of a former star player, and all of it combined. John Schneider's been in the organization for 20 years or something like that, where he started as a catcher that couldn't make it, managed all the different positions. Like, there's so many great storylines. And I know, Hazy, you talked about Schneider in the master class, but there's Schneider benefited from guys getting it done. You know what I mean? Because when they don't get it done, that's when you crap on everybody and you say, you're out, you can't do it. But when they get it done, you praise the manager for every move, because the guys go out there and execute and get it done. And it's good that he's the benefactor, where you're like, that guy pulled all the right strings, man. But if you don't execute, it doesn't mean nothing.
You're right. And ultimately, John Schneider probably gets too much credit when they win, too much heat when they lose. And what you're pointing out is an important detail. The players are playing. Like, the players are playing.
Yes,
and
they decide everybody's fate, man. It's amazing all the storylines that are surrounding them now. Like, the management have built a winner finally, and it's like, yeah, for right now they have. And it's because the guys are going out there and doing it. Like, what the hell has this hitting coach been up to, turning this thing around from what we saw last year? Everyone that talks about the Blue Jays are like, these guys put the ball in play. They put the ball in play. They couldn't put anything in play last year, including their star players, all of them. So what's this hitting coach or their whole new hitting staff up to that's turned this thing around?
You're right.
For them to be known as the team that hits everything.
David Popkins should be a household name.
Dude.
He should be. What a move. What a move hiring him, because you're right. There's a story for you, Jonas. And I know you were at the rink last night.
I read about the Leafs.
You write about the Leafs.
Nobody cares
If
now.
you could find a way to get to the new hitting coach and pick his brain and just write about that, because, this team, they hit for singles, doubles, they hit for power, they small ball it, they hit home runs. It's crazy.
The player who led their team in hits didn't play. And this is why I always like, Jeff, you know this, in the playoffs, we always have these like storylines of, this guy didn't play, what do you want them to do? And it's like, other guys can step up and play, and like Clement and Barger and, Kirk, and like all these different contributions where you don't have, is he their best hitter? Is he their second best hitter? Third best hitter? Where you just get all these different contributions and it doesn't matter. And it's like, is he coming back? Maybe. Does it change your perception of their chances? Like,
I know, but Jonas, a lot of times when a top-end player goes out, and you could bring the Maple Leafs back into it too. When Mitch Marner is out, when the 102 points or whatever are gone, and then you're asking 3 or 4 different guys that come in that have 40 points or 30 points, they're different points, because those 100 were game-breaker points. Same as Bo Bichette. Like, he's a stud, man. And you can say to other guys have to step up and do it, but are they really capable in the big moments?
Fair.
Because the superstars, they're game changers, and that's why they're called that. And the other guys that are kind of lesser tier, they're not really used to that. That's not in their DNA, and it's not what's expected of them. You can go to them and say, hey, man, you got to step up and do this, but is it reality? But for the Jays, it is reality right now because, Bo, they're like, is this guy talking about playing Sunday?
Yeah, he kind of was intimating that last night. Again, he was there running. He doesn't have the brace on the knee. He's got a few days to figure it out because they're through in 4 games, right? And the other series, we're going to have to find out who they play. Like that series is going 5. Game 1 is at home on Sunday. So he's got today, he's got tomorrow, he's got Saturday to figure it out.
Do you think it's like a lock he DHs if he does?
Yes,
play?
I would think so, which does complicate things because they do not want to put Springer in the outfield.
Yeah, and
for whatever reason, Springer has just been exclusively a DH. And
is that injury related, Hayes, or what the hell is that?
We have not been given an answer that I'm aware of.
It's just keeping him healthy, like so he doesn't have to have any extra.
Possibly
keeping him healthy. It's the playoffs, man. Nobody
I know,
says
but
that.
He's been so great at the plate all year, and if he's been DHing predominantly, keep him in the same rhythm that he's been in all season. That's a reasonable explanation.
But do you guys remember how just think of the way the year has gone for them? Remember what we were talking about in April, May? It's like.
Oh, it's the most drastic turnaround you can think of.
We were talking about it yesterday. Like Jimenez was like their go-to guy offensively, hitting some homers, and we're like, man, we're just going to watch the same thing. And then I think Ross came out and he's like, it's not only close, it's really close to being not just better, but amazing. Remember he said that?
Yeah.
He said it was going to not just turn around, but turn around in a big way. Yeah. It was him or Schneider that said that, and everyone was like, yeah, okay, man. What are you talking about?
No, I remember.
And then
it
actually happened.
It did. It was Ross Atkins on the field, I believe. I think he came on our show, too.
Yeah.
And was advocating for the future of this club and what is just about to be unleashed.
Yes.
And no one believed it.
No one believed it, man.
Nobody believed it.
Did you think he believed it or just
I don't know if he did, man. I think it was his last gasp where he was like, this better turn around or I'm in serious trouble. Don't you think? Don't you think he might have just tossed that out there? Or you think he truly believed that this thing was going to turn into what it is right now? I have a hard time believing it, man.
I think there's a chance he believed it 50% more than the general public believed it.
Well, guess what he's going to tell you if you asked him? He'd say,
totally predictable. The most predictable thing
you.
ever. Yeah, of course. Yeah. And listen, to his credit, of course he's going to say that. And guess what? Everyone's got to nod and say, all right, you're right. You're the architect of the team. You've been here a long time. This whole organization is Mark Shapiro, Ross Atkins. Yes, Vladdy was signed by the previous administration. I believe Bichette was drafted by Anthopoulos and Beeston. But everyone else is courtesy of these two guys. Whether it was luck, whether it was a long game that finally played out, whether it was strategic, whether it was totally predictable, whichever way you want to choose to look at it, the fact is these guys, Shapiro and Atkins, have been here for a long time. And when it went wrong, they got a lot of heat, I think deservedly so. Mm-hmm. And now when it's going right, they deserve a lot of credit. The same thing with John Schneider. And the same thing with a lot of these players, like Vladdy, who has had ups and downs. And in his playoff performances in the past have not been great. The performance he just put on for 4 straight games was all-time great stuff.
Sure.
And then afterwards, the generational hatred towards the Yankees boost his profile in this city so much more than it possibly could just from the performance. Because
dude, the performance, Hayes, matched with the stuff after with Ortiz, I don't know if people are just starving for victories or something to latch onto, but that's like they've won the World Series type stuff already, according to fans that love Vladdy.
Yes, because it's the Yankees.
Yes.
There is an inferiority complex with this team when it comes to the Yankees and what they represent. And the Jays are not alone. Almost every team in the league, maybe short of Boston, although maybe Boston, it's so steeped in over 100 years that it exists from that standpoint. Probably does, because Boston's so much smaller than New York. Maybe the Dodgers can sit there and say, we're on par with them.
We don't care about you anymore.
But the Orioles can't, the Rays can't, the Jays can't. I could name 20, 25 teams that look up at the Yankees and their fans look up at the Yankees and say, they're always on prime time. They always get everyone. They always sign everyone. Their hats are everywhere. And the Jays went in there and absolutely demolished them 3 games out of 4, and they handed them a win. They were charitable in Game 3. Self-inflicted wounds, the only reason the Yankees won a game. And clearly Vladdy hates the Yankees. Like, he hates the Yankees. And
it has to be something with his old man or something. I don't know, like...
There's a history there, and it's
there's
deeply
something
rooted.
That happened, yeah, because obviously love the way he plays against them and what he's done in this series, but for him to, I don't know, there's something happened with his dad that was brought down to him, and he's like, okay, I hate you guys too.
Generational hatred, and for him to go on Fox postgame and goof on the Yankees.
Yeah, in front of A-Rod
and Jeter is just an amazing play, and I love it. And I think people love it here so much more because he's showing that personality. He's having fun. He beat up on the Yankees. If he does that and he was batting 200 in the series with like 1 double, you'd maybe look at it a little bit differently, right? If it was pitching and defense that simply got them through. But Vladdy threw this team on his back in many ways and said, let's go for this ride. And
and imagine
it's going to boost his profile here so much more than, again, even just the performance.
Like, you should do like a power rankings on the show, like who owns Toronto.
Yeah, Vladdy would have to be at the top.
#1,
and in large part because the Yankees lose.
Wow. We used to do bar play. Can you imagine Vladdy getting in at like 2 a.m. from that performance?
Oof.
Like, I don't know.
Outrageous.
It might match. What was our highest level of bar play? Was it Dougie in 93 or something?
Usually Doug Gilmour in 93 was like unparalleled levels of bar play in the city of Toronto. It's up there. It's got to be up there after
Vladdy after that series. I don't know what could be higher as far as bar play. I really don't.
No, you put that guy at any bar in the city, it's just like clears the house. Clears the house the way, the aura of Vladdy Guerrero Jr. And again, he had to do that. He had to redeem himself with the way he played down the stretch, with his past playoff performances. And it doesn't stop here. That's the important, we're having fun today. And I think every Blue Jay fan deserves to bask in it. The Blue Jays clearly do. Had a big celebration last night at Yankee Stadium, which is just an incredible thought. How rare that has ever happened.
I saw you tweet. Imagine partying at Yankee Stadium.
How crazy that would be. Like walking out onto the field an hour later and no one's there.
Yeah.
And it's just you and a bottle of champagne at home plate at Yankee Stadium. Yeah. How incredibly rare that would be. And amazing that feeling would be.
I think Steph Curry was asked, I think he was returning to Cleveland after they beat them or one of their championships, and he was like, is it weird being back here? And he said, it still smells like the champagne that I was throwing around. And it was just such a classic line.
Yeah.
Such a classic line to be able to say that, man.
Great
Yankee
line.
Stadium, what better place to do it?
Yeah, you can never take that away from them.
Well,
but it is only the divisional series. You got to keep going. You got to get 8 more wins if you want to ring.
That sounds like something I would say to you.
No, but it's true. Like, again, I'm basking in this. It was an unbelievable performance. Like, they deserved it. They absolutely dummied the Yankees. Unbelievable series, but it doesn't stop now. You can't fade against the Tigers or the Mariners.
Well, and especially because those kind of feel a little
got to get those. Well, exactly. Yeah. Like, now you're at home. You're going to be favored. Maybe you get Bichette back. Maybe you adjust your rotation a little bit. We'll see what happens. But whoever you play next, if you beat the Yankees in that fashion, you got to take down the next team.
Dude, as good as Bichette is, Hayes, doesn't he kind of scare you a little bit to kind of upsetting the mojo? Like, I don't know. The guy can hardly – he's jogging out on the field. I know that might have nothing to do with hitting, but it just feels like some mojo might be at risk there when if you try to force it. Obviously, if he says he's going, but I don't know.
I guess – my look at it is they put Anthony Santander on the roster.
It's cool.
Yeah, and it's like if Santander is going to be put, and he actually had some really good at-bats throughout the series, like really good at-bats, and he kind of looks like he's about to break out. But if you give him the benefit of the doubt after the season he had, you're giving it to Bo Bichette if he is close to 100%. Well, but I hear what you're saying in terms of defensive play. Like if he is simply a bat, like Santander was playing right field. If
it didn't go great.
No, it didn't. But if Bichette is exclusively a DH, it does change the dynamics of the team because obviously Springer's going to play. So they got to figure that out. But so it's a luxury. They got a few days to do that.
Can I ask you guys, like, if I told you, which development do you think is the most surprising that got them to this point? Like, you could say Savage, you could say, I don't know, you could say Kirk, you could say Vladdy. Is there one of these things?
Vladdy, for me, the way he was performing before the playoffs, and everybody was like, is this guy going to be able to turn it around? You know, he loves playing the Yankees. He's going to do it. But to actually flip the switch, because he was in a bad spot before the playoffs started, man. And then he just turned into the best player in the world and outdueled Aaron Judge and the Yankees and led the way. Hustle plays, dynamic plays. Like, he stole the show. And for him to go from where he was to where he is right now, I think that's easily the biggest flip around.
Yeah, I would say I'd have to agree with that. He had the first RBI of game one, you know, with that home run that set the tone, and he had the opening RBI last night to set the tone in game 4, and everything else in between. I believe he had the first
grand salami.
Yeah, grand slam. I think he hit a 2-run RBI, a 2-run home run in game 3 as well to set the tone for game 3, even though they ended up losing that game
in Yankee Stadium.
So, like, this guy in the first inning of game 1, 3, and 4, he stepped in and did what he did. And then obviously in game 2, that was even more of like a premium moment where he hit that grand slam that completely broke open the series and effectively ended the Yankees season.
Well, and imagine I told you Judge would bat 500 in the series and wouldn't be the best player.
Right. And exactly.
And they would trounce them.
And
like
lose
if I told you before the series that Judge is going to bat 500.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you'd obviously think. Now, you might say, well, they must have intentionally walked him like 5 times.
Yeah.
Which it wasn't quite 5, but they did a couple of times. And
Man, it was difficult for the New York people to just admit the Jays played better. Like some of the tweets are popping out there where they're like, well, I guess I got to give it to the Jays, hand it to the Jays. They just played better. They hit more. They did less errors, and they were just better. But man, it was difficult for them to spit that out.
It really was, because it finally caught up to them, right? Like the Michael K stuff early in the season, you know, like don't hang on the rim, do that in October. Okay, the Jays were hanging on the rim last night at Yankee Stadium. And obviously what Buck Martinez said, which he was proven right. Yankees, you know, they're a flawed team. You know, and it would cut deeper, you know, saying they're just not a good team, period. But in the end, he was proven right.
Yeah, that Chisholm error last night was such
Crushing.
a bad error.
Crushing.
And that was right in his glove. It looked like it was right in his glove, and he just made this weird hand move, and he moved it to the right. And I was like, that's going right in your glove, man. What the hell are you doing?
Well, and Buck laid it on thick after that error. Like, we don't talk a lot about what they're doing at the other network, and he laid it on thick. Go back and watch that and listen to it. He said multiple times, that's a routine double play. Like, that's a routine, you must make double play. And he's right in the situation. It's 2-1 Jays, and then Lucas comes up with one of the biggest hits of the series and extends the lead to 3 runs, and the rest is history. So you're right. That Chisholm error was crushing, and that was the Yankees in a nutshell. That's how they've operated all season. Their fundamentals have been very flawed. And now you question, will Boone be back? Will Cashman, their long-term GM, be back? We'll see what ends up happening with the Yankees. But if you're the Blue Jays, that's none of your concern right now. You're off to the ALCS. All right, I've got a 5-pack of moments. The 5 defining moments of the ALDS from a Blue Jay perspective. We'll get to that. And a lot of people were watching the Jays game last night. We'll come back. Jonas, you've got a list of what they missed from the Leaf game last night.
There was a game.
There was a Leaf game last night.
First game.
Yeah, what a night. 5-2 Leafs, 5-2 Jays. Yankees and Habs lose last night. What a night for the Toronto sports fan. It was outstanding. All right, we got Luke coming up. We got Ken Rosenthal coming up as well. He was obviously following the series. He'll be doing it for the championship series for Fox. Ken coming up just after 5:30. OverDrive continues, TSN 1050 and on TSN 2. All right, OverDrive continues, brought to you by FanDuel, bringing you more ways to play your game your way. Got Luke Wilson coming up on the Thursday nighter tonight. Al's brother and I get completely jammed having to pick this game because it challenges so many of our theories. It's Giants-Eagles, divisional game, short week.
What's 7.5?
7.5, Eagles at the Giants 7.5. But I've always said my number one rule is remember who you're betting on first before you consider who you're betting against. And it's the Giants, who seem like they might be the play tonight. Again, they played decently recently. They just beat the Chargers, Jonas. They
Don't
just beat them.
overthink this.
I know. The Eagles, though, haven't been that great.
I know, but...
All right.
They can turn it around.
Right.
Doesn't that ever enter your head? They can turn it around and be the Eagles again?
Yes.
Who do you want to be rooting for, Jackson Dart or the Eagles?
No, just think of this name. Dable.
I know.
Just say Dable to yourself.
That's the thing. Like, breathe in and think Dable.
Yeah.
And it just...
Dable and the Giants the last 3 or 4 years, ever since he got out of that pickup truck and did the video walking into the practice facility.
Yeah, it's been ugly. It's been ugly, and you're right. So we'll see. Al's brother will have tremendous information as well, and we'll find out where we end up leaning. Ken Rosenthal in about an hour. So the Leafs win last night. The Blue Jays win last night. What a night. What a night. And obviously, a lot of people were focused on the Blue Jay game last night. But the Leafs got the party started. Jonas, you were down there. Mm-hmm. You have a list of things in case people were watching the Jays game on, what you think they need to know and what they need to take out of that game last night. You want us to supply us with that? Go ahead.
What were your percentages for viewership?
Well, I think the Jays probably hit, they hit 4 million last night? I wouldn't be surprised.
No, I mean you.
Oh, mine was
like
90% Blue Jays.
Okay.
Like I was flipping over quickly to the Leafs, like in between innings and stuff.
It was not a great game.
It didn't.
It was tough.
Dude, it was like, man, it was just a weird vibe.
Yeah, and the loudest cheers, Jeff, by a country mile were for the Jays, which I found weird, understandable, but also a little weird, because it was a season opener.
Mm-hmm.
Even the player introductions are all, anyway.
But it's never really loud in there.
I know, but it got really loud when they showed the scoreboard.
Yeah.
Those player introductions, man, if that was in Montreal, somebody would have grabbed Molson and just put him in a stranglehold.
Yeah.
But I don't mind that, where it's just quick, here are the players. I don't think Leaf fans have this giant expectations of introductions where it has to be like Montreal and there's, different elements to it and all this stuff and the flame. I don't think that's Toronto is just here's the players. Here they are.
Yeah, it's more routine. And yet the Leafs won. I mean, you guys are talking about it as if the Leafs got pumped 8-0.
It was the weird. You got to admit, Jonas. It was the weirdest 5-2 game where you're not a lot of zone time, and you're the star players.
Through two periods, they weren't great. Third period, they played well.
Yeah,
but those
Montreal's got to realize you got a team playing like that, take advantage of it, and
they look fast, Jeff? They look fast and skilled and.
No, they did. They put a lot of pressure, and the D at times was man, are they moving it quick enough? And they put a lot of pressure on them to turn it over, but they just couldn't capitalize. And then they kind of disappeared in the third, and that was the game.
Now, is that because they are that fast, or the Leafs were slow, making their opponent look very fast?
That's a good question. We will find out.
Because it can go both ways. And I was speaking with someone today, a scout, because you guys have no idea who I talk to in my personal life.
Sources.
And he did indicate that when the Leafs, had the lead in the third, the size, the veteran presence, they really shut it down.
Well,
is that not a positive?
Can I get to my list?
Go ahead, Jonas. Tell us what we missed last night if we were watching the Blue Jay game.
So, I don't know whether I should rank these, but I'm going to start with Morgan Riley. He looked great. Everything you want to see from him, they want to see from him, he was doing last night. He was aggressive. He was involved offensively. Before he even got a point, he had a couple great scoring chances. He might have had 5, 6 scoring chances where he was centrally involved. Finishes with a goal, an assist, 9 shot attempts. The power play stuff we'll get to in a second, but great start for Morgan Riley,
which is important. Yeah, that's been a big part of the conversation through camp. Best shape of his career.
Yeah, I don't.
And that's why you got to do it. That's why you got to change things up, because maybe that goal he scored, he followed up the play, and maybe if he wasn't tip-top, he wouldn't have done that.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Great
he
point.
crept right up there, and he joined in and got in front of the net, where it's if you're not tip-top and you're kind of dogging it a bit, you're either you change or you're just
You're afraid. You're unwilling to take a risk. That was last year.
Maybe you don't go up there and take that risk because you're I don't know if I'll have enough in the tank to get back. But he got up there, and that's a benefactor, and that's why you do something like that, and that's why you change it up. I thought he was fantastic, Jonas.
Yep, that's big. That is significant.
So I'm going to have to go back to something we talked about, Hayes and I. And Jeff, I don't know if you're here for this, but it was a crazy take where Jeff said, I don't know if Bobby McMahon is going to be on the team. Out of training camp.
I said that. It wasn't Jeff. I said that.
I know you didn't say that. Sorry, you said that.
Yeah.
You.
I said that. I own that.
And he looked incredibly fast.
You thought he was incredibly fast?
He was. I mean, he's one of the fastest players in the league. And he,
yeah.
No, like literally, statistically, he is.
Oh, based on what?
Based on they clock it.
Okay.
It's true.
All right. Does he have the puck when he's doing that? Does he have his head up?
Track that.
That's the thing, Jonas. Like he's got to go out there and use the speed and make plays and get it to Nylander and get in on the forecheck and make it happen. Anybody can go out there and just blaze around and say, I'm one of the fastest guys in the league, and it doesn't mean squat. Like, use it to your advantage, and especially his strength, too.
Yeah, he's a big boy.
He's a monster out there. And if you put it all together, you got a dynamic kind of power forward that can score you 25 goals, but you got to make plays, too.
Yes.
Yep. All right, Jonas, you had your stopwatch out and he was flying. That's good. That's good to hear. I'm not anti-Bobby McMahon. Let me be clear. He was awful down the stretch. He hit 20 goals and literally didn't 100%. Score again. In the playoffs, he was terrible. And I thought there was a chance they were going to possibly move off him or change their direction with him. They did not. Good for him. Awesome. Bobby McMahon was flying last night.
So we wondered what the power play was going to look like without Mitch Marner.
Mm-hmm.
It did not look very good.
Although, let's be clear here. Marner had his issues over the years on the power play.
Sure.
Like, big issues. He went like a calendar year without scoring a goal on the power play.
Yeah, in the playoffs, he didn't score for a long time.
But he was Mr. Everything last year on the power play.
Yes,
he carried it up the ice.
Well, he played defense. Yes, he was a quarterback of the five.
You could feel that they were missing. Like, to me, I don't know, Jeff, I'd be curious your thoughts. Like, it felt like they were kind of like missing their hub. Like, it was kind of, they gave up, a shorthanded goal. They gave up some chances. They didn't look dangerous really at all.
Mm-hmm. No, I thought it was a mess all the way around. Yeah. There's no other way to describe that. Entries, giving up the shorty.
Yeah. There
was like a weird kind of Austin Matthews fan one-timer, and it was like, that's what you guys got tonight? It was not there. And I think the coach, everybody talks about like their puck game or puck management game or whatever. Like, it just wasn't sharp. There was nothing crisp about it.
Yeah,
there's no other way to describe it.
Their power play struggled to start the year last year.
And they changed it.
Yes,
remember,
they did.
Like, Riley started on that unit.
Right.
I don't really think they have, like, I guess they could go to Ekman-Larsson if they really want to, but I don't know that they will.
He doesn't move the puck any better than Riley. He shoots the puck harder and differently. Yeah. Like, he's willing to take a slap shot or one.
But if you see Riley play the way he did, like, you're just going to keep this going, I would think.
Okay.
So we wondered how Michelli would fit on the top line, and it was not a great night for the top line.
Not a fan of the top line?
It did not look good.
You think Max Domi's looking at Scott Laughton saying, dude, you jammed me so badly. Like, you had to get hurt, so I got to play in the third line center.
Well, it's going to be...
I know, but wouldn't you think if he was, like, if it was really dynamic up there that it wouldn't even have been an option to switch? Like, there was probably something about the coach where he was like, I don't really love it right now, and that's why I'm going to make the switch and say, I lost a center, I got to put a center there. Because, I don't know. What Michelli did last night, it was awkward looking. Where
yes, that's the right word.
There was no kind of possession time, there was no chemistry, and there was no opportunities for Austin Matthews, and that's what it all comes down to.
Yeah, like none.
And it's no kidding. Like, and that's a different ball game. To ask a guy to kind of to find his game after a couple years and say, be that guy again that got 57 points or whatever it was in Arizona. I don't know, but it looked like a long way off, and it looked like who's the guy that has the IQ and the ability to play with Austin Matthews on the right side that's a right-handed shot, and right now it looks like 88's that guy. I don't know. I don't know who you're going to put there, but if you're going to keep switching it around with guys who are not really labeled as that guy or have done it for a long time, it's a dangerous game. Because those guys are demanding, man, those top-end players. Like, they want the puck on their stick. There's certain stuff that they do to be who they are. And if it's not happening, you got a serious problem.
Well, and I guess the question is, like, what do you do now? Like, let's say you don't like Michelli there and you're Craig Berube. It's like, well, your next option is Domi, but he's playing center. And it's like, well, if he's not going to play there, what do you do with the rest? Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, there's like this whole trickle-down effect.
It's a goofy scenario, Jonas, to have one of the best goal scorers to ever play and be mixing and matching and trying to find a guy with the players you just mentioned. Like
Michelli had never played right wing in the NHL. Like I don't think he'd played in the NHL, and now you're putting him on right wing of the top line of a top team.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and a left-handed shot where I talked about it yesterday. Yeah. Like Mitch Marner came behind the net a lot with the puck on his forehand, and the first thing he sees is Austin Matthews out of his left eye, as opposed to a left-handed shot who it's blind to you. Like, you know what I mean? You can't see everything coming around that net, and it's going to be a different look. But I don't know how many more chances he's going to get. But from one opportunity that I saw last night, he's got a long way to go to make up ground to make that line work.
Yeah, it's interesting because it is a conundrum. It's something they have to figure out. Yet it's game one and they won it.
Mm-hmm. Yes,
so I would presume
this isn't doomed.
No, you got to give them more of a chance and an opportunity. But this was also always the possibility and maybe the safe money. Like Matias Michelli, Utah effectively gave him away for free.
They were scratching him.
Yes, they gave him away for free. So you have to be reasonable. Like there's we've done this in the past with the guy that shows up and he's going to be great because the Leafs are so smart and they pluck people. Exactly. Nick Ritchie, Gino Malgin. We can go down the list of this guy's a perfect fit. He'll be great. Not always the case.
Yeah.
So you got to give
everyone's
some time.
Ernie Clement, man.
Exactly. Not everyone can step in and it just pops. Maybe it does, and that would be amazing.
Yeah.
And there are history lessons of that. Players that get in a different position, different team, playing with different players, and they pop. And there's no doubt the guy's got a lot of skill and talent, but it may not be him. It may not be Domi. It may not be a guy that's on the team right now, which is complicated.
That's the likeliest thing.
Now, Roslovic just signed in Edmonton last night, so that ship has sailed.
Do you think that would have been the guy, Hayes?
I'm not convinced it would have been, but he is a right-handed shot that has played with Matthews before. They grew up together.
What do you think of what Jeff said of playing Nylander there? I know it totally
it's the
makes
balance
your
of your lineup. That's the thing. Right now they have a really defined top six, bottom six.
Yep.
And that would be top three, bottom nine.
But if your top line's it's one game, but your top line needs to be dominant. That's what it was. And if it's just going to be okay, and then are you
then
really
who plays
ahead?
with Tavares? Let's say they do that. Let's say they go.
I guess you could go Michelli, Tavares, McMahon, or something like that.
Would you move Nyes down, or is Nyes just a lock to play with Matthews?
I think that's worth thinking.
Nyes is here for the next 6 years. He's not going to play with Austin every single shift. Things are going to change at times.
Yeah, I would consider that.
Is that worth it?
You could have some kind of Bobby McMahon, Matthew Nyes flip. Yeah. I don't know, but isn't the main focus, Hayes, is to get I just go back to thinking about the coach's whiteboard. It's you gotta. I've sat in a room with Ron Francis where it's we're not producing. Okay, who's going to play left? It's always about who are we going to get us going.
Mm-hmm.
So Austin Matthews is always priority number one, wouldn't you think?
As he should be, but Willie is a very clear-cut option number two.
It is, but in saying that, they did win 5-2, so it's not going to be kind of.
No, they're not. This is
and it's a long-term conversation. You got to figure it out. But again, Willie scored more goals than Austin last year.
Yeah.
Now, Austin is a better goal scorer. Austin is a guy that's going to play more minutes in more scenarios, more rounded player. He's your captain. He's your leader. But you have to consider, are you cutting off your nose to spite your face a little bit if you're going to move Nylander there in order to prop up Austin?
It's not to prop up. It's to, he fits on the line. He's a top-line right winger. You know what I mean?
It's based on, on paper, you're
going to jam Matias Michelli in there when you have William Nylander.
No, I know. But, again, Willie's going to score 40-plus this year.
Yeah, for sure.
And he's going to do it without playing with Austin because he didn't play with him a lot last year.
Maybe 45 or 50. Those empty netters are massive.
They are. And Austin was chugging last night to beat Laine down the ice. Man, that was a bag skate, and he had lapped Laine. But
it was actually a great goal to motor like that and that angle.
Yeah.
Did Laine, did he really go all out where it was
That felt like a check, please, skate back a little bit from Laine. A little bit. Here's Pat. He's got him beat, and he's like, 2 hands on my stick. He's skating with 2 hands on his stick.
Marty St. Louis probably expected a tomahawk chop right there, where it was you better break something.
That
guy cannot score.
6'5", could have probably dove along the ice and just pushed the puck into the corner.
Yes.
And, live to see another day and see what happens. Maybe you lose the battle from there and it ends up in the back of your net anyway. But
the thing about Nylander, he got an apple on that play. Goal and an apple. Last couple pull the goalie and throw him out there.
Man.
And it's bonus time, man.
Really?
It's a big night.
You look at the game sheet. Hey, Willie had a night.
And it's amazing how many people come up to you after assistant coach shakes your hand. Goal and assist. Awesome night out there. It's like, what the hell are you talking about?
Yeah.
All about production.
On pace for 82 goals. Him in Austin, 82. But, yeah, listen, this is going to be a consistent theme. And it was, I guess, on display night one. I don't think they have an option. If you want to separate Matthews from Nylander, which is a reasonable expectation that Berube wants that to be the case, to spread the wealth out a little bit, then you're going to look at Matthew Nyes as the guy that maybe has to pick it up a little bit to help out Austin and put him in positions to do, look what he did for Riley last night. That could have easily been Matthews, right? Like he wins a race, wins a battle, puts it on a tee for him. Riley ends up scoring. That's going to have to be Austin 15, 20 times this year. But, yeah, of Michelli, Domi, Easton Cowan's not even playing. He's not in that position.
I was going to bring him up.
Bobby McMahon is not the option to play on his offside with those two players. I just don't believe he is. So, go ahead.
That was the only other thing. Actually, I got a long list. I could go on for 2 hours with you guys.
Yeah, okay.
But Cowan didn't play, and now I think it's a really interesting decision for the coaching staff. Like, what do you do? Because who do you take out? The team, won, and
Yarncroke looked
okay. Scored. You could take him out. I guess you could take out Robertson. Do you just keep the same? And then it's like, well, why are you keeping Cowan? I don't know, what I would do. I'd probably just play him.
Yeah, I think at some point you want to play him if he's up here.
Well, yeah, that's mandatory.
At some point he's going to play, for sure.
And play. Maybe that's an opportunity to play. You want to play? Play with Austin Matthews for a game, Detroit, or against Detroit, and see what you got.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and that's what's coming. Man? That's what's coming. Right?
Because to say, hey, you're actually going to play now and play on the fourth line and play 4 minutes or whatever the heck it is, or just not play a lot, I don't know. Are you really going to see what he's capable of doing? It seems highly unlikely.
And maybe he is an option by the end of the year for that line or for one of the top two lines. It's possible, but this is why you got to play out the year. They got 81 more games left to try to figure out how it's all going to look. And a trade deadline, which is still months away. But it does seem very likely, if we're doing a mini Jerry's, what's the mini Jerry's that as of October or March 8th or whatever the trade deadline is, how much we're talking about them finding a right winger for that top line? It seems like 90% certainty.
99.
Maybe 95 or 99. That's where the assets are going to go. But still, the Leafs won last night. We had some positives. You had positives coming out.
Sure,
how about Stolarz? Anthony Stolarz picking up where he left off.
I was going to mention Nick Waugh. You could see what he can bring to them. He's
a bigger dude than I don't know. Sometimes a different uniform, the guy just looks bigger.
Yeah,
he looks like a giant out there.
Yeah, he's big. Joshua's big. They're big boys. And Stolarz is massive.
I think you could make a claim he's the biggest person in the league. He's 248 pounds and he's 6'6".
Yeah, he's huge.
He's gigantic.
Huge. So there you go. Yankees and Habs lose.
I think you should steal that and just do it for everything.
I should do that.
Habs lose.
Well, and people are writing me that's gonna come back to haunt you. Yeah, Montreal's probably gonna win tonight, maybe in Detroit. Just having fun, man.
Yeah,
just having a good time.
Let Hazy B have some fun once in a while.
Exactly.
How many times has he had to sit there and talk about misery and miserable
listen
things?
To Simon and Garfunkel.
Thank you. Yes. Exactly.
Let him have his flowers. Let Hazy B have his flowers, not the players or management. Let Hazy B cook for once.
Yes. Thank you. Let me be a positive source of entertainment and enjoyment, and I'm here to try to make everyone happy.
Daaa Yankee lose.
That is so great.
Some twerp tweeted out, he was like, Judge would never do that, to be honest.
I know.
Vladdy's having fun, but Judge would never do that. It's like, okay.
Well, guess what? Go back and look at the tape when Judge hit that 3-run home run in Game 3. He walks into the dugout, eyeballs the camera, turns around, and then looks back and makes love to the camera again, smirking and smiling. In other words, laying it on thick, look at me and look what I just did, which is totally fine, no problem. But Aaron Judge probably would do something like that. And but to your point, exactly, who cares if he does or doesn't? Like, what does it matter what Aaron Judge would do? And Judge is the one that is the barometer for all players?
It was just such a weasel tweet where it was like they hated the fact that the Blue Jays won, and they had to just poke something where it was like, man, our guy would never do that.
Right.
Which is just asinine.
Exactly. All right. I've got my top 5 moments from the ALDS. Jonas, you still have way more. See, look at this. See, look at that.
Like, good. I like that.
That's fine. Go for it. But, like, Judge is doing, like, he's laying it on thick, too. He's being a showman. I thought you were going to throw in some of the clothing options for the players walking into the rink last night because they took these new rules to an extreme, man.
Like jean shorts and runners and stuff.
Yeah. Like,
I never thought I'd see the day.
I'm getting old, man. Because I saw Chris Tanev in a suit. I'm like, that's a good look, dude. That's a good look. Like Matthews gear. Domi had the Jays jersey on. Willie had gear on that, to me, is just an outrageous wardrobe decision. What William Nylander was rocking last night.
The brown with the tank top?
Yeah. Like the baggy, crazy brown with a tank top.
What's
I
wrong
thought
with
that was cool stuff, man.
Yeah, you would.
It is just weird to see. I thought it was always like, yeah, there's Willie there with the brown stuff and the tank top. He loves a tank top more than any human being on earth.
He really does. And Max got a tight tuck on the T-shirt there, too. Okay, and repping the Jays, which I like, I appreciate, but
so Chris Tanev had the straight suit, just normal, dialed in.
I think he had a T-shirt. But it was like a tucked-in black T-shirt, like black on black.
That would be a fun game to go through the roster and say, like, suit, no suit.
What was Tavares wearing last night?
I don't know. I don't.
Scream
I
suit.
I would bet money.
I don't care.
It was
He's
one of his normal suits. Yeah.
100% suit. Suit for sure, dude? Yeah, suit.
Jake
100%.
McCabe, suit.
Yeah, we should play that game. Like,
suit or no suit?
Suit or no suit.
Yeah.
I'll bet you, was Riley? I would say Riley was wearing a suit last night.
Sure.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, like John Tavares will wear 82 suits.
Yes.
No, with a tie. I bet you he had a tie on last night, Tavares.
I bet she did too. Fully tied up, like buttoned up perfectly.
Game.
Suit or no suit. We'll play it. We'll establish that.
Yeah.
All right.
I bet Morgan Riley would have worn a tie last night too.
Yeah, wouldn't shock me at all. And not even think twice about it.
No, it's your routine, man.
Yeah.
You just put on nice suit, nice shoes. You think you're doing something serious, feel good about yourself. You've done it for a long time. And then all of a sudden, what? You're going to switch to jean shorts and like Nike sneakers with socks pulled up to your knees?
That'd be crazy.
That would be
contrast.
a weird transition, man.
It would be. Because, like, I think the way it works in the NHL, you can speak to it, is like the players go in and get changed in a room, right? Like hang up all their stuff and get into their undergear or whatever. Like to look at the hooks, like suit, jean shorts, suit, baggy brown sweatpants, like Blue Jay jersey.
You could take it that far. You can go sweatpants?
Yeah, well, that's basically what Austin was wearing last night. Is that a velour suit?
Yeah, that's a good look.
Probably cost $10,000.
Yeah. Oh, that's worth more than all of our cars.
Yes.
Whatever the hell that guy's wearing is worth more than our cars.
Yes, 100%. All right, Luke's coming up. Ken Rosenthal coming up as well. Overdrive continues. TSN 1050 and on TSN 2.
There was one crazy-ass Oilers game last night, gentlemen. It was something else. I thought the Oilers were going to win 12-0. 12-0. And then these weird goals started going in. And this shootout lasted forever, and Naz ended it. It was Bizarro World.
It was
Bizarro World.
It was. Shout out Dustin Wolf. That kid is a stud in that. He's so good. And I thought the shootout was going to go 18 rounds.
Yeah.
Like it just kept going and going and going.
That's why you don't watch it. You just turn it off.
There you go.
See,
if I lived by your standards, I would have done that last night. But it starts off, McDavid gets this massive pop, the introduction. McDavid is flying last night.
100 miles an hour.
100 miles an hour. You and your StatCast
and your
speed.
Look up where he ranks.
Well, Rashog tweeted out like an hour ago, he was hitting speeds that I don't think he's ever hit before, or it's been years since he hit it. And he hit certain bursts at like 10 times or 12 times, whatever the hell that means.
Yeah, I like that.
But basically, he was flying like we haven't seen him before last night. He's on the board. Draisaitl's on the board. Kids are getting their first point. And then Stuart Skinner, that third goal.
Oh, man.
I can't stop. And it's one game. It's one game, and it's been like 3 days since McDavid signed that deal.
Somebody tweeted out, McDavid didn't get a discount, take a discount to watch that.
Exactly. I can't help but look at it through the lens of McDavid sacrificed for this.
This reminds me, I really have a bone to pick with you about this.
About my view on the McDavid contract?
I was like screaming at the television.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I was
Really?
so mad.
Okay.
And
All right.
by the way, so last year, McDavid's top speed, 99th percentile. So there you go. He is the fastest player.
Is that really groundbreaking news?
No, but
Wouldn't we know that?
It's fact.
Okay. But last night in particular, he was flying. All right, you can address whatever you wanted to address the other day. And
New segment called Hayes' Bad Take.
Hayes' bad take.
Exposed.
Hayes is a fraud. Hayes' fraudulent take.
I like it.
All right, we'll get to that. I've got my 5 moments from the ALDS. Ken Rosenthal coming up. Hayes and Bro on the clock with the Thursday Nighter Hour 2 up next. Hour 2 Overdrive continues, powered by FanDuel, bringing you more ways to play your game your way. Brian Hayes, the O-Dog, Jeff O'Neill, Jonas Siegel of The Athletic, Ken Rosenthal of Fox and The Athletic in about a half an hour. Luke Wilson coming up of TSN. We were talking about some of the outfits that the Leafs were wearing in the game last night. Someone sent a tweet in saying that Nylander's outfit cost about $9,600.
Pardon me?
That's what someone on Twitter said, and if they said it on Twitter, that means it has to be true. It cannot be inaccurate.
$9,600 for a kind of a jacket and jeans.
Yeah. Now maybe the bag is included because he had a bag that he was wearing or using. Like that could be a $3,000 bag. That seems so unnecessary. You could use a Lululemon bag, and it would be the exact same thing. Reusable bag. Like, why do you need that, Willie? And does that bag go with the suit? Like, is that a part of it?
That's what they all do. They all have like a shower kit or something that's high end, and it's a $7,000 shower kit bag. Or
I know.
I've never remember seeing athletes carrying like bags into the game, but Brent Burns carries this massive like army backpack into the game.
Right.
It's like, what do you have in there? Everything's already in there.
Mm-hmm. And he's bringing his own tape or something. Like, what do you possibly bring?
What are you putting in the bag? I'd love to know what they got in there. What are you putting in the bag?
Do you know, Jonas, what they have in there?
No, I remember Tavares has something like that. He brings his backpack in. It's got, I don't know what's in there.
What's in there? Headphones and an iPad?
No,
Is it
I'm
like
sure
vitamins or
I think it's
something?
like that kind of stuff. Like maybe it's like, I don't know. Is there foam roller? I have no idea.
Well,
But dude, that's what I just
said.
said. Everything's in there. So what the hell are you putting in the bag? What's in
maybe
the
he
bag?
has his own stuff. I don't know.
All right. Well, maybe that's a great story.
It sounds like.
What are the Leafs? What do they have in the bag?
What's in your bag?
What's in the bag?
What's in the bag?
What's in the bag? Mitch Marner looked pretty good last night. The Vegas Golden Knights. Now, they end up losing in a shootout. Mitch had a chance to extend the shootout. He could not find a way to score.
Tell you that Jack Eichel will score a lot of goals because he can just cross the blue line, and Mitchie just feathered one right in there to him, and he just wired it.
That was a great pass and a great shot.
Yeah.
You know, but yeah, Marner, that's a great play. Like, that's a brilliant play. But that's also a play that Matthews can't make as a left-handed shooter. Right? Like, it's not the same thing when Marner's on the right side. But listen, Mitch Marner, the way he plays the game, that contract is going to age very well. Like, he's going to be a really good player for a long time because he's not fast, so he's used to playing at this pace. He doesn't play in heavy areas. He's not physical. He doesn't get hit. So, you know, for 5 or 6 years at least, he's just going to rack up 90 to 100 points and be a top 20 or 25 player in the game. Like, that's what's going to happen. And that's going to be very...
He just impacts a game. Like, he's out there, he quarterbacks the power play, he starts the penalty kill, and whenever he has the puck, he's making plays like that. So, of course, he's going to have an impact of the game. But it's just difficult for Leaf fans when we were talking about what we were talking about with Michelli, and then you're seeing Marner wheel over passes to Jack Eichel and him wiring them in the back of the net. We're talking about a different ball game.
Yeah, but the Leafs won last night.
Do you guys think Jack Eichel scores a career high in goals this year? I can tell you his career high if you want it.
Is it 40?
His career high is 36. So, yeah.
I guess I would lean the over.
Wouldn't you?
Probably lean the over. Yeah. Well, Mitch is making only $500,000 less than Connor McDavid. Jonas, and You take issue with one of my takes? That's so unlike you to take issue with something I say in one of my opinions.
Take.
Let's hear it. What did you say?
Which take was it?
It was you talking about that because McDavid took a lot less. Now everybody has to take less, or they don't care about winning.
That's not what I said.
Dude, he never said that.
I did not say that.
No, as dumb as he is, he would never say that.
I did not say that.
Tell him what you said.
Okay,
Pretty close.
I'll give you my opinion.
Okay.
He has set a precedence for superstars that have not won cups that this is the sacrifice that you can make. And yes.
As long as they have bank, I think you said.
Yes, and actions speak louder than words. Let's be clear here. There are cup winners over there and non-cup winners over here. And it's also a very small amount of players that fit into this category. Mm-hmm. Like the superstar, face of the league, face of their team type players. There's like a handful of them in the league. And yes, I think he has set a precedence that if you don't follow suit, you're going to have to explain yourself. Ugh. It doesn't mean they're going to. It's their lives. It's their careers.
Why do they have to explain themselves? Like they don't care about winning because they don't want to take
Yes, actions speak louder than words. Actions speak louder than words. How is he not acting on his urgency to win by doing what he? Why do you think he did it?
What he doesn't.
But why do you think he did it?
Because he wants to win.
Yes,
clearly, and
exactly.
He wants to win there.
Yes,
but that doesn't mean if I'm player superstar X and I'm up for a contract, I don't.
The bottom line is, Jonas, not everyone's going to do it. Like, they're not
of course not.
And nobody should be held to the standard to do it. That's what MJ was trying to explain to you. Like, it's not fair to.
I'm telling you, I will be holding them to that standard. You don't have to.
I know,
but I will be holding them to that standard because I think it's a remarkable move by McDavid to say, I am going to prove with actions that I want to win. And I believe
who's your next candidate, Hayes, that you're going to hold to the fire?
That's the thing. There's not that many, to your point.
Yes, there's not a lot. Like, I'm trying to think when Quinn Hughes comes up, that's going to be interesting. When Austin comes up, those are guys in that category. David Pasternak, but his deal's a long-term deal.
So if Quinn Hughes doesn't take $9 million or $10 million, he doesn't care about winning, is what you're saying.
Well, you also have to factor in who he wants to play with.
Yeah.
That's going to be a factor, too.
All of it is complicated.
Playing with his brothers, he's got to factor in that. If he wants to play with his brothers, obviously winning is there, too, and he's got to factor that in. But if he had no chance to win, do you think he would join his brothers? I don't know.
I don't know, and that's a reasonable question. If he does, and then you have to question where winning is on the priority list.
I just think McDavid is a one of one.
Why is he a one of one?
Because he's in his own class. He's his own player. Money-wise,
so he recognizes legacy.
No, he also knows that in 2 years he can make whatever the hell he wants.
Yeah, but
Jonas,
these guys
the bottom line is the guy's obsessed and maniacal about winning the Stanley Cup. And
right.
It bothers
That's
Hayes.
Awesome.
I know it bothers Hayes that other guys aren't programmed like that, but. No, at the end of the day, when you have an opportunity to sign a massive deal, not everyone thinks like, man, I gotta take a haircut here so everyone else can get paid.
Listen, it doesn't bother me. I have such an appreciation for it. But what I think he has proven here with actions is he actually does want to win more than the other guys who clearly tell their agent, get the most you can and call me when we've got it, because. As I've said a million times, it's a hard cap system. That's just the reality. There's a finite amount of money. I didn't create the rules.
Yeah.
You didn't create the rules. McDavid didn't. Every other player didn't. If you want to go out there and get all the money, go for it. And obviously you still want to win. I'm not saying because you take top dollar, you don't want to win. I'm saying he wants to win more than you. And he has proven that. And he has actually put his chips in the middle and said, I'm willing to sacrifice something to get the end goal. And maybe he won't. And maybe he'll look back on it in 10 years and say, what a stupid move. What was I thinking? But he was willing to risk that. And let's be clear, he's still making $12.5. He's not making $30 grand. He's still making a fortune. And it's a very small group of players. If you've won a cup, you're in a different world. If you've won a championship, you've established yourself, you've done it, you got your ring, you're a different beast. And again, Johnny was like, well, what about the middle of the pack? Those guys they're different. They're different players. They're not thinking legacy. They don't have the same legacy. McDavid's doing it because he realizes I've got to get a cup in Edmonton. I have to. I have to do it.
What's the percentage of players, Hayes, you think a legacy?
Or
I mean, I don't think there's more than two. How many? 3, 4, 5% of the league? Oh, like is that right?
I would assume so. I don't know. It's just a lot of. It's just winning is so difficult, and we've seen it with the Blue Jays. Like you got to have good fortune, you got to have luck, and winning is so difficult. Look at all the quality teams that never really get a sniff in all sports, where it's like we think we've got it done here. There's only one team that wins every year, and there's so many teams that made trades at the deadline and did all this and did all that, and they don't even come close. It's so difficult to win. So to be like McDavid knows that his team, and even McDavid and the Oilers, they've been in the finals 2 years in a row. Do you know how difficult it'll be for them to get back to another one anytime soon, even though they have two of the best players in the world? It's not easy. They were a get out of the zone away from not advancing.
To LA. You're right.
Yes.
Yeah. And again, if he took $20 million, or negotiated for $20 million, okay, you got your $20 million, and you'd still want to win, and your legacy's still important, but he would have made it more difficult for his team to get there.
Yeah, they would have been throwing guys overboard.
Yes, and the fact is, he did it. But I didn't do it.
But that's the problem with I have. You're blaming the players. It's not their fault.
Not about
cap system. Like
yeah, but they did negotiate it.
Kind of
yeah, the players did accept it. This guy was one of them. The cap went in 05-06, and it's been and it will never change. And again, it sucks. Like obviously, it'd be great if you could make $50 million or $100 million. Go ahead. Like it's.
Star players don't make enough. Like I believe that.
Sure.
And the other thing,
but I'm also a believer. Here's another thing. Johnny doesn't believe he needs a cup. I couldn't disagree with that more.
Needs it for what?
For his legacy to be complete. I think he needs a cup, and I think this proves he knows it. He knows he needs one.
All the best players in the world.
Exactly.
Everyone that's been labeled the best player in the world has won a Stanley Cup.
Okay,
is that not true?
But so answer me this question. Like, so let's say he never wins a cup.
Mm-hmm.
Is your perception of him changed? Like, I probably wouldn't for me. Like, like he was the best player I ever saw.
He wouldn't be for me.
So that's the difference. Like 2 years ago, they almost.
Well, I don't think he is. I think again we've moved past Wayne Gretzky as if.
Well, I know it's crazy. Man.
It's insane what's happened here. Do you know how good Wayne Gretzky was?
Okay.
Like the numbers,
honestly,
every record everybody has. Obviously, Ovechkin got his goals, but everything else, it's so far gone. It's insane.
Yes.
And we're just blowing by Gretzky like he wasn't there. And I get it. I think the Quizmaster used most evolved player, and he's obviously the fastest and most skilled. But to say Wayne Gretzky, to just bypass him like that is crazy stuff, man.
Crazy stuff. Crazy stuff.
Okay, that's not what I was doing.
No, but you were though. You were like you
said he was the best player he's ever seen.
I don't remember. Like I was a kid when.
No, I get it. I get it.
That's what I'm saying. Like that, I can.
You
actually
think he's a better hockey player than Sidney Crosby?
Okay, so let me turn it back on you. Does he need to win a cup for you to think he is a better player? Like to me, he does not.
I understand what you're saying there, and that's in terms of like any given night you watch them play. Mm-hmm. But in terms of the legacy, like we do live in a championship era where those do matter. And again, I think what happens with McDavid and a lot of players in this era compared to Gretzky, Lemieux, and way back in the day is, well, Howe won his, but there were only 6 teams. Orr won his, but there were only 6. Gretzky, when he first won, there were 21. Sid won with 30 in the league, and then I believe 32. I think maybe Vegas hadn't quite been in. But still 30 in the cap era. So Sid got 3 in the cap era with 30. And drove the bus and lid, and yes, are you asking me, do I want to, if I have to win a game tonight, prime Sid or prime McDavid, I'm taking prime Sid.
Interesting.
Because I just think he's more of a dogged player, more complete player. And yeah, I mean, it's not, listen, McDavid's unbelievable. It's like Gretzky or Lemieux. There's no wrong answer necessarily.
I guess
you
what I'm saying.
You kind of painted yourself in a corner.
Yeah, you did.
You're taking Sid because he's won a championship. That's why you're taking Sid.
That's a big part of it.
Yeah.
Sure. Yeah, sure.
But
I'm not going to dispute that. He's got 3 of them.
But what if I gave
and
you
those are valuable. Those should mean something.
What if I was like the guys from Men in Black and I could just erase your memory and you just got to watch them both play? Who do you think you would think was better?
Again, I don't. I still think I'd say. I think I'd say Sid. Here, McDavid pops off the page more because of how he skates.
100%.
But
I don't know
the details of the game. Sid is a better hockey player. The details of throw the puck below the dots and say go get it. Sid's going to get it. I believe that.
Who's more talented?
Well, who's a better skater? McDavid.
No, who's more?
I don't know.
I think you're going to say who's more talented. It's McDavid.
It's probably McDavid.
It's like Gretzky, Lemieux. Who was the more talented player? I think everybody would say Lemieux was more talented.
Sure.
But Gretzky was the better player.
Yeah, smarter. Like his IQ for the game, his vision. And that's, I think, again, a point. Like that gets lost in this when you start talking through the lens of EA Sports. And while he's 99 in this category and 99 in that category, that's not how the game's always played. And again, if you're just talking legacies, you're talking a very small amount of players.
I know, but like go back 2 years ago to that Cup final. He was like unbelievable in those playoffs.
Yes, he was.
What more could you possibly want?
I would have loved him to play better in Game 7.
Okay.
Well,
okay. Fair.
Did he play great in Game 7?
Sure. Okay.
Did he play well in Game 7?
Not well enough.
Did he play well in Game 7?
No.
Okay. He didn't have his best game in Game 7.
Yeah, but like, come on.
Okay, but like we're talking about the thinnest of margins of the best players of all time. Like I'm not saying McDavid's ranked 138 until he gets a cup, then he's 5th. Like for me, he's already top 10 player all time.
Do you think this is about legacy for him, or do you just think he I need to win?
Well, I think it's a combination of like I don't think he cares what I think or you think.
No,
I think he's driven to win. He wants to win, clearly.
Yeah, he said it the other day when he was talking. He's like, I've dedicated my whole life to this every single day, and I want to do it my way. And obviously winning a cup is a major factor or a goal to what he wants to get done here.
Mm-hmm.
It'll make it all complete for him.
Yeah. I just think in sports, like the idea that the goalposts move so far where guys don't have to win anymore.
I don't think that we think that way, do we? Are you saying I think that way?
Yeah, I think you think that way.
I just don't like.
Do you think he's the greatest player of all time?
Jonas,
McDavid.
you already said it. You wouldn't. Your opinion would not change him if you won a cup or not.
It would not change. No, it wouldn't. Like
so I don't know the playoffs
why.
the rest of his career makes no difference.
That's not the same thing. He's been to 2 straight finals with like so teams.
So teams.
Well, like the talent hasn't always been the best in the league.
Okay. All
right. You're like you brought it up.
You know what the other You're the one saying it's the worst take I've ever had in my life.
It was.
So what do you think of their team this year, Jonas? Do you think it's an upgrade on talent? Like what do you think?
From last year?
Yeah. Like what I'm curious is about they've talked about some of the young guys
That's
they
the
put
thing I don't know.
What I don't understand is they talked about some young guys they've inserted into their lineup, and Roslovic coming in. That's great and everything, but what's it going to do when it comes time to really get down to it and win? How are those guys going to really be difference makers? That's what I don't understand.
That's a very good question. I guess we'll find out as the year goes on.
Yeah, like this is not the greatest team on paper.
The Oilers?
And the other thing that's the other thing like I was going to bring up to you is like I don't know what the Oilers are going to do with the money if I'm him. Like if I'm another player on Team X.
I'm going
to give you the money to spend, and it's like.
But again, Jonas,
do I get to approve every move?
Well, I think that's possibly happening. Like I think he's more involved than we maybe know.
He's like Jake Wallman, 7 years. Do it.
Ekholm gets his extension at his age. I do think Connor has probably made it clear who he thinks is the core of that team. But I understand that argument. I'm not disputing that it is frustrating probably to say, I got to trust Stan Bowman and Jeff Jackson to get it right.
Which is like impossible.
It is
hard.
But you have to because of the system, is my point. Like you don't have to, but I think it's reasonable to say I'm willing to give it a shot. Where if you you'd earn it. He'd earn it. He's the best player in the world. But if he gets, let's say, $20 million, do you think they can win with a player?
That's why he didn't do it. You're right.
Exactly.
But
do you think they could win with him and Draisaitl making $34 million combined?
No.
No, exactly.
Be like you and me playing on the wings.
You can't do it.
Right.
And that's why he realized the system sucks. Got to play the game. All right. Luke, I don't know what the hell Luke's doing. He's been playing golf or something all day. But Al's brother's here. You want to hear from Al's brother?
Let's hear it.
That's a generational talent right there, Al's brother. Probably the most. What is it? What does the quizmaster call him? The most evolved gambler of all time?
Oh, evolved.
Evolved player.
Yes.
Not evolved gambler.
Okay.
McDavid is the most evolved player.
Okay. Well, Al's brother, you're the most evolved gambler of all time. You look at moon readings and what's happening with the waves in the ocean and all that good stuff. Doogie with an all-time great jam job of us tonight and throughout the weekend. Where are we at with this? We're on the clock. Eagles laying 7.5 at New York tonight.
It's tough, man. Like, I hate this line. Like, you flip it 1 point, Eagles 6.5. You might feel a little bit better. I'd probably lean Birds, but like Hayes, it just goes against so many of our team core principles. You know, like it's a short week, divisional game, road team, favored big. Like, that usually screams take the points, doesn't it? But are we really going to bet on, like, Brian Daboll and the Giants? Like, that's the question we have to ask ourselves.
I know, it's sickening. And I think
you are. I think you are going to do that.
You think our intuition is saying Giants? It kind of is, Alice, brother, a little bit. But flush this out for me, man. Use your gut instinct. I know you're a man of tremendous information. What is your gut telling you about tonight?
My gut's telling me that there's a weird stink with the Philadelphia Eagles right now. That's what my gut's telling me. Tonight, they could blow it open. It's a bit of a revenge game for Saquon. That offense could get going. It could get cooking. But ultimately, when I look at this game, I think they have two teams who want to run the ball. That's the identity of their team. And when that happens, it usually limits possessions on both sides, which means a lower scoring game. So at 7.5, it's kind of tough to take the favorites in that one. And here's the thing that bothers me the most about the Eagles. Their second half offense has been horrendous, like absolutely brutal. They've given away so many. Like, they gave away the game last week to the Broncos, which we picked perfectly, by the way.
Brilliant.
A couple of weeks ago, the Bucs came back, and what was it? The defense had more catches than their offense in the entire second half. It's been brutal. So I could see the Eagles leading by 14, 17 points at half. But I don't trust them to score any points in the second half. This screams backdoor cover. Okay. It really, really screams backdoor cover at 7.5.
You don't want to do it.
The most evolved gambler of all time.
What happened to the Giants last week? Do you guys remember?
They won the ball game.
Yeah,
they beat the Chargers, man. Did they not? Am I missing out?
That was 2 weeks ago.
That was 2 weeks ago.
Okay.
2 weeks ago, they beat the Chargers.
They lost to the Saints last week? Oh,
by 12.
Dude, we got to consider that. That's my bad. I just remember the Chargers win. I forgot about that.
Spencer Rattler.
It was a tough loss.
We might have to go Eagles here, man. Like, because they played the Cowboys okay the week before that, right? They played them okay. The Chiefs, they were kind of in that game. I think.
Here's the thing. Like,
okay,
the
give
short
me your last one and let's go.
Me.
Yeah.
Here's the last thing that I think. I look at them, and again, like, the Eagles are struggling to run the ball. Saquon's been limited all week. He's struggling this year. He's only averaging 3.5 yards per game. As a team, they're ranked 29th in the NFL. But here's what really surprised me. When I dig into the numbers, you guys know I love my win rates, right? Yes. I love looking at my NFL win rates. The G-men are leading in the trench warfare across the board pretty much. Top 10 in both pass rush win rates and run stuffing win rates. No Landon Dickerson for Philadelphia. I think that's going to be huge. A big hole in that offensive line. So you couple that with the Eagles' poor offense. I think that maybe Cam Scattaboo, who's been a dog since he's come into the offense. Jackson Dart finds a little something something tonight. I think they could cover the number. I really think they could cover the number.
Alice, brother,
boys,
shut up. You had me at win rates. We're on the Giants tonight.
That's a
Start spreading the news, boys, because we're on the G-men.
Start spreading the news. New York needs something to pick them up, right? New York needs a pickup. The Giants know they got to pick up the whole city. Everyone's burned by the Yankees. They were burned by the Mets. The Rangers looked horrendous the other night. Oof. The Rangers got pumped by the Pens at home. The G-men step up for the city of New York tonight. We're taking the points. We're taking the points. Giants,
I love it.
You had me at win rates, Alice, brother.
Two words should have had you is the Giants and Daboll. That's it, man. And I can't believe you just went right over that. It's insane that you took that bet.
We're on the Giants, man.
At 6.5, I think we lean Birds. But that's 7, like, in the gambling world, it is such a key number. They call it the key number. It's like 3 and 7, the two key numbers in sports. And once it crosses onto that hook and it's 7.5, you have to really think hard about your decision. And usually it's smart, short week, divisional game.
Yes.
Got to take the points.
Got to take the points.
The favored, the home dog, massive home dogs, got to roll with it, man.
Got it, man.
Roll with it.
You had me at win rates. All right, lock it in, Alice, brother. I love it. The most evolved gambler in the game right there. Sold me. Hazenbro on the Giants tonight.
Daaa
Yankees
Yankees
lose. And so will the Eagles. The Eagles will lose tonight.
Eagles lose.
The Eagles lose tonight. All right, AB, we'll catch you in the group chat tonight.
Oh, yeah.
There he is. Al's brother. One half of Hayes and Bro, who are +1 going into the week.
You let him talk. I could just see you started nodding your head, and you're like,
Wow.
yeah, I'm buying into it.
I forgot about that Saints loss. That is concerning. That is pretty important information.
To even think that they're
Should have been
capable
considered.
of doing that.
I know, but the Eagles have not been impressive, man.
No.
Like they're 4-1, but they've played
meetings or star meetings.
Yeah, and maybe Saquon he had so many touches last year, and it was so great.
Yeah,
Maybe he's a little bit cooked. All right, we're on the Giants. All right, Ken Rosenthal coming up. He was in Toronto. He was in New York covering the whole series for Fox. He'll be covering the ALCS as well. We'll catch up with him on the Jays taking down the Yankees and who should they want to play in the ALCS, Seattle or Detroit. Best bet still to come as well. Overdrive continues, TSN 1050 and on TSN 2. All right, Ken Rosenthal coming up from the MLB on Fox and The Athletic. We'll get to our best bets, powered by FanDuel later in the hour on the Thursday nighter. Hayes and Bro on the Giants tonight, in case you're wondering.
Regretting it, right? You regret it already?
No.
Okay.
You got to step up. Someone in New York's got to win. Someone in New York has to cover.
Have you heard of the Jets?
That's not going to happen anytime soon. Yeah. That is gross.
Yeah, it's tough.
It's really, really ugly.
Hazy, of Seattle and Detroit, who do you think that Canada can invade the stadium more?
It's a great question, man.
Or even allowed? You remember, don't they block people? They wouldn't want, neither of those markets would want anybody in there, would they?
No, they try to keep as many out as possible. I think it's more likely you get into Detroit because, correct me if I'm wrong, Seattle's not quite right on the border. Right? Is it not a bit of a drive? It's more of a drive from Vancouver to Seattle. Now, Toronto to Detroit is still a 4.5 hour drive, but a lot of people in Windsor would get across. And
oh, yeah.
I'm rooting. I think I'd prefer they play Detroit. I think, you're going to get Scooble twice, which will be very difficult, clearly. But there's more of a potent offense in Seattle. They got a pretty good rotation as well. Obviously no one can match Scooble. But the travel, I don't know if that matters, but I think it probably should. The idea of just going to Detroit, man, that's a quick turnaround.
Maybe you and Keegan and Hedge wheel in a car down to Detroit and do your thing, man. It's got to be an option.
It's possibly
got to be an option.
I think Hedge will be there for sure. Keegan obviously will be. I'm not sure I'll make that cut. I could pull in Noodles and do the show from a hotel room down there.
Yeah, why not?
Right?
I think it's an option. I think it's totally an option.
I think you're right. It should be. Great park.
Are they fired up that you're joining again on Sunday?
We haven't had the group chat fire up yet. I'm sure they're expecting it because I fully intend on being down there. Hey, it's the ALCS, man. And when I was in the building, good things happened.
Yeah, even if you don't get the email, you're going to fire up the group chat and say, just to let you know, I'm going to be down there, guys. I don't know what you're up to. And I'll just happen to be wearing a suit, so let's fire this up.
I'll be down there with my IFB. I'll be down there. It's going to be a fun weekend, right? You got Sunday, Monday. Now, it is Thanksgiving this weekend, which does complicate things. We have not heard of when the games are actually going to be played yet, like what time the games are going to be played.
What do you think they'll do with the rotation?
I think they go likely Gosman, Savage, Bieber, opener.
So the other guys are done. Bassett's done. Scherzer's done.
No, they may come in, into the bullpen as options.
Okay.
And it gives them the opportunity possibly to start in Game 4. But I think they'll be emboldened by last night. I think they might be all in on the opener here. I think it's possible. But I do think you go Gosman, Savage, Bieber. That's 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, 7. So you're looking at whoever's going to start Game 4. They had 4 lefties in the bullpen because of the Yankees, because the Yankees' numbers were not great against lefties, so they wanted those options. I could see there being some turnover there. Justin Brule comes out and Scherzer goes in, or Bassett. Question is, which one would be more likely to succeed in that role? Scherzer, Bassett? which one is more comfortable.
Scherzer, I would think.
Those would be cool meetings
Yeah.
to be in, to hear those guys tossing that stuff around, what they're doing and what they want to plan to do. That would be cool to listen to that stuff.
Very, very cool. Yeah, and they got a couple of days to figure it out. And they don't know who they're playing yet. Detroit, Seattle, they don't know who they're playing yet. But they know they're going. The Jays are in the ALCS. So what a night it was in New York last night. What a series. And there were so many moments that stick out from both ends of the spectrum, the Jays and the Yankees. And a guy that was on the field covering the games throughout the series for Fox and the MLB on Fox, also writes for The Athletic, joins us now. Here's Ken Rosenthal. How you doing, Ken?
Very well. How are you guys?
We're doing very well. Do you have one moment in particular that you will remember most from the ALDS between the Jays and the Yankees?
I would guess, or I would say, the Vladdy slam. That was really memorable. And, of course, Savage, when he was taken out of the game, the ovation, all of those moments from the Rogers Center. And even last night, obviously a different environment, but the fact that the Jays came out first innings, hammering away, that was impressive to me. And I know teams go through these things all year long, where you lose a tough game, you come back the next day, and they have short memories. They do, and that's why they're successful. But it was still impressive because that was such a tough loss in Game 3, and then they come out in Game 4, and boom, 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 here we go. It was only one run, but in my view, it was a statement right off the bat.
Yeah, and I think the fact that it was Springer getting on, Vladdy hitting him in to kind of set the tone last night, very, very significant. And the reputation of Vladdy Guerrero Jr., can you recall another example where 4 games shifted this guy from, superstar and all that, but completely changed his reputation in terms of what he had done in the playoffs in the past, how he was playing down the stretch, and then he had these 4 games where it's as dominant as a player can play?
Well, when you ask the question, I definitely remember Carlos Beltran way back when having a monster postseason, and that changed the perception of him. That was when he was with the Houston Astros. If I'm not mistaken, early 2000s. That's a long time ago. But what was so interesting about Vlad to me was he didn't have a great September. And I know going into the series, there was some question, at least in my mind, how much did he miss Bo behind him? And how much of a factor was that? And where was his swing? And it seemed like the layoff did him good. And he got things together. He has said that he got rest for his body, which was necessary. It's always important at this time of year. And for him to rise up, not just offensively, that was the main part of it, but defensively, base running, people who have not seen him play a lot got the full portrait. And the full portrait is not simply a really good hitter with power. It's a guy who takes care of the other parts of the game and has dedication to those parts of the game. That, to me, was kind of cool to see.
Ken, what was your vibe around being around the Jays? Schneider always tosses out the cliches like these guys love each other and they'll do whatever it takes, next man up. Just being around the team, what was your takeaway?
That definitely is there. And I remember when this talk started in spring training, and basically all 30 teams say the same thing in spring training. Wow, the vibe is really good. This team is going to be close. And then some teams succeed and some teams don't, and the vibe changes accordingly. But with the Jays, they did say it in spring training, and it did carry through, and certainly there is a closeness. I asked Springer in my post-game interview with him after, obviously, the clinching, I said, okay, what makes this group so special? And that's what he said. We're close. And obviously winning enhances that. But it does seem that they've got a good group and also a welcoming group. So at the trade deadline, when they bring in Bieber and Louis Varland and Sir Anthony Dominguez, those guys were immediately welcomed. Now, most teams are like that. The Yankees were like that, too, with their new players. But it is a positive. And certainly Schneider has grown in the job as well, and that's been impressive to see. Of course, we remember a few years back with what happened with the Barrios game, and that was a learning experience for him. And now he's very open about it, how he had to learn from that and had to learn to read the game and not follow a script. So he's impressive in that sense as well. And during the games, I know in Canada you're not seeing our broadcast, but I interview him at the start of an inning. He is completely relaxed in those interviews, much more so than some managers. everybody reacts differently to them. Some actually don't do them at all. But he's been really relaxed, easy going. It's like, yeah, we're good.
Yeah. Yeah, he's really had that approach ever since he arrived here. And, last night was a kind of a crowning moment for John Schneider in particular, like going with an opener, a bullpen game at Yankee Stadium when the Yankees have their backs up against the wall and only giving up 2 runs. Man, that was a courageous play, and obviously the front office factored in too, as you would know, Ken. I mean, they had to make the call on what the roster was going to look like. Do you think that emboldens them to continue it into the next round, or do you think they might tap on Max Scherzer and/or Chris Bassett once they get to the championship series?
That is an excellent question, and your point is really good because the front office did play a role, of course, in the roster construction, and they chose not to include Scherzer and not to include Bassett. Bassett somewhat for physical reasons, and go with the 4 left-handers. That enabled them to have the kind of game they had last night. Now, bullpen games are always risky, and John Smoltz said this on our air last night. All it takes is one guy performing poorly for the whole thing to unravel, and yet the Jays did it. They succeeded with it, and it was reminiscent of the division series last year. Dodgers-Padres, Game 4. The Dodgers went with a bullpen game in San Diego on the road, just like the Jays, and they won that game and then won the series in 5. They were down 2-1. So it's never ideal to do that, but they got really good performances out of everyone for the most part. And that bullpen's been up and down, right? This year, you guys know this. So to see that, it's got to be a confidence boost for the entire group. And it was also impressive to me that Varland was the starter after what happened the night before, and he wanted it, and he attacked it, and good for him, man. That was cool, too.
Yeah, it really was. With Ken Rosenthal, MLB on Fox and The Athletic.
Ken, I wondered what your gut is telling you about Bo Bichette's availability for the ALCS.
Well, I'm down by the dugouts during the games, and I've seen him in the dugout. He's not walking like a guy who is ready to go. He still has a bit of a limp, and it seems to me that if he's going to be on the roster, which I still doubt, it would not be as a shortstop. And there's a good reason for that beyond even his health. Jimenez is a better shortstop. And we all love Bo. Bo's a really good player, of course, and one of the heartbeats of that team. But if he could simply be the DH, and I'm not sure he can or can't, I don't know. But that alone would bolster them. It would change them a little bit, of course. But that's, to me, where the decision's going to be. Can they carry him in that fashion? Would they feel like if he got on base, they needed to run for him right away? How does that affect their decision-making? I don't know where he is physically. Only Bo and the Jays know. We're going to get our answers soon enough.
Yeah, we sure will. With Ken Rosenthal. So we just had a fairly impassioned conversation / debate about the importance of winning a championship prior to you coming on. And I guess we can apply that to Aaron Judge because another year passes by without him winning a World Series. How important do you think it is for his overall legacy to win a World Series in New York?
Obviously, that would enhance his legacy. But to me, it was more important for him in this series to do what he did, which was to play at a high level and deliver a big moment. There's only so much one player can control, and it's not his fault that they're out here. In fact, he was the one hitter they had who really produced at a high level. So, yes, he's a Yankee, and there's a feeling among the Yankee people, fans, and all this that to be a great Yankee, you have to win a World Series, to be like DiMaggio and Gehrig and Ruth. Well, times have changed. It's not as easy as it was back then. There are more teams. There are more rounds in the playoffs. And I actually wrote about this today. I wrote about the Yankees and how you can blame Boone and Cashman. Yankee fans love to do that. And I get it. It's been 16 years now without a World Series title. But it is so hard to win. And what happened on the field, they lost to a better team. They lost to a hot team. That is all that happened. The Yankees, I know Buck Martinez might disagree. I do not think they're a bad team. They won 94 games. They actually improved their athleticism, improved their defense. They were a more rounded team. They could do some different things offensively. They're not perfect. No team is perfect. But they lost simply to a Jays team that ignited in this series and played kind of a gorgeous brand of baseball. It was such a joy to watch them and watch guys like Ernie Clement and Kirk have his moment. And I love this team, the way they go about it. The fact, yes, they have some star players, but they also have contributors 1 through 26, and that's what's cool about them. And I said this on our broadcast last night. The past couple of years before this, they were not a team that was greater than the sum of its parts. They were a team that was less than the sum of its parts, in my thought process. Mm-hmm. Now they're a team that's greater than the sum of its parts, and that's the best kind of team to root for.
Yeah, Ken, we were talking about their hitting last year. It was just abysmal, and this year, everybody that talks about the Jays say they hit everything. That's quite a turnaround for the organization.
It sure is, and the new hitting group led by Dave Popkins gets a lot of credit internally from the players, and clearly that's a difference. And it's funny to me, I always kind of cringe when teams fire hitting coaches. It seems to me they're scapegoated all the time, but there are examples, and here is one of them in Toronto, where there is a palpable difference in a team once that change is made and once a new group comes in with Hopkins leading it and the other two hitting coaches assisting him. So, yes, they made the right call there.
He is Ken Rosenthal, MLB on Fox and The Athletic. Great catching up with you, Ken. Really appreciate you doing this. Enjoy the championship series.
I'll see you guys up there. Thanks.
You got it. There he is, Ken Rosenthal. I did see Ken down there. There's two journalists down there doing work, man.
Would you go up to him and say, hey, man, like I talked to you on the radio the other day, or you don't do that
I don't
stuff?
think so. No, it's just not necessary, right? Like, he's a busy guy. I'm a busy guy. I have things to do. If he came up to me, I'd say, Ken, not now.
You wouldn't go up to him and say, hey, Ken, we spoke on the radio on Thursday afternoon?
What is that? How does that?
I don't know.
What does that do for me and him?
I just don't know. Maybe.
I know you would. You would do that. I think you would, and I appreciate that you would do that. I'm not. I guess I could. You want me to give it a shot?
Yeah. If you see him or you're walking by, you just say, hey, Ken, little handshake, and say, I spoke to you on the radio. I host the radio show, amongst other things I do around here, and it was great to talk to you. I appreciate you coming on.
All right, you got it, man. I will do that, 100%. I'll be seeing him on Sunday.
And he'll be like, cool, see you later.
More than likely. But maybe it becomes a stop and chat.
Maybe you become friends.
Maybe we become friends. Maybe he becomes one of the people I talk to for information. Anything's possible. All right, Best Bets powered by FanDuel coming up. Thursday nighter, Eagles, Giants. Bunch of games in the NHL tonight, too. Bunch of games
Massive
in the NHL.
Amount of games.
Massive.
Rangers, you just mentioned the Rangers stinker in the opening night. They play the Sabres tonight, I believe.
They want to find a win there.
Rangers need a win.
Yep. You got Ottawa's home opener, or opener anyway. They're down in Tampa. Noodles calling that game. Montreal's in Detroit, so they lose last night right into Detroit for a home opener. Boston with a big win last night. Swayman was unreal, and they got Chicago at home tonight. So we'll get to that more coming up. OverDrive continues, TSN 1050 and on TSN 2. All right, Best Bets powered by FanDuel. Make your picks and assemble a same-game parlay in seconds on the FanDuel Sportsbook app. Giants plus 7.5 tonight. Cam Scatterbo. I think I'm pronouncing that wrong, but anytime touchdown tonight. Anytime touchdown tonight. And Giants taking the points plus 7.5. That parlay paying plus 260. Today's Best Bets are powered by FanDuel, the FanDuel Sportsbook app, the exclusive home of the OverDrive same-game parlay. Please play responsibly, 19 plus, physically located in Ontario.
Somebody just tweeted out, wear a tie on Sunday, and maybe you guys will have something to chat over.
Yeah, he wears a bow tie, Ken Rosenthal. That's his big thing.
Yes, a bow tie.
I am not a bow tie guy.
Have you ever worn a bow tie?
I have for a couple of weddings, couple wedding parties.
Purposeful, like you had to?
Well, it was like a groomsman thing where we're wearing a bow tie, and I looked. It wasn't good. Like I can't. I look okay in a suit because I'm kind of tall and stuff, but the bow tie, I got fat cheeks and fat neck, and it's awful. Like if it's too tight, you look like a disaster. The bow tie's not a good look, man.
Do you think
Ken Rosenthal pulls it off?
Do you think he would think that you were trolling him if you came and wore?
I definitely do, but I need to see it. I would want the awkwardness if you walked by with the bow tie and just did. Didn't he have an awkward moment where he knocked over a cameraman recently, and
it wasn't good for Kenny.
He just kind of glared. I don't know. I don't forget what his reaction.
Tough one. Yeah. He barreled over a camera guy and gave him a death stare for standing there.
Yeah.
Didn't help.
I think he addressed it the next day, and he was like, "Look, man, I'm busy. I got TV, got a deadline, and I didn't know what was going on."
Yeah, there it is. Oh man, that's how he'll look at me if I have a bow tie on Sunday. And then he shook his head, and he's like, "All right, man, back to business, back to doing our TV." But he did address it. Said that's a guy I've known for a long time. Blah blah blah. All good. Hey, listen, we're fans of Ken Rosenthal on this show.
Yeah.
Right, Jonas? You and his...
I love Ken. I read his stuff all the time.
Yeah, you guys are on The Athletic together. And what did you write about last night?
Riley.
Okay, so Morgan Riley and Ken Rosenthal on the Giants, or on the Yankees' future in their front office. And
I read Ken's column. I don't think he read about Riley.
Don't sell yourself short. Morgan Riley had a big
night. We missed your list today. We missed your list today.
I know.
Is it too late tomorrow to get to it?
I got mine. You want me to run it off quickly? I'll give you a 5-pack right now. The top 5 moments of the ALDS.
Go for it.
Number 5, Vladdy's Game 1 home run. Game 1 home run set the tone for the whole series. Number 4, and this one might be too low, Nathan Lucas, 2 RBI single in Game 4. That broke the game open. That ended the game effectively.
Too low.
Probably should be higher than this. But number 3, Gosman striking out Judge in Game 1 with the bases loaded. That was such a massive, pivotal moment. That strikeout, 3-2 count, bases loaded, nobody out, striking out Judge. Gosman at 3. You savage curtain call at 2. Vladdy grand slam at 1. So I hear you. The Lucas hit maybe should be higher because that was Game 4. That's a closeout game, and that basically ended the series. I could live with Lucas being higher. I can because the other ones are earlier in the series. Game 1, Game 2. But there's your top 5 moments of the ALDS.
Pretty good. That's basically covers them all.
All right. There you go. Vladdy grand slam, you savage curtain call. Gosman striking out Judge in Game 1 with the bases loaded. Nathan Lucas, big single in the Game 4 last night. Vladdy's Game 1 home run to set the tone.
Nice.
Man, they love talking about Lucas riding the bus for a long time to get to this play. They keep bringing that up, riding the bus.
I know.
That guy's seen some buses, man.
He has. He's in his 30s.
I think he's 31.
Yeah, he's 31. Yeah. Ernie Clement's like 29. Ernie's been grinding for a while. So, yeah, there you go. All right, Jonas, good seeing you, man.
Thanks, fellas. Great
seeing you. Jonas Siegel of The Athletic. Noodles will be back tomorrow. Tons of games tonight in the NHL, the NFL. Big baseball games. Can't wait for it. Thanks to everyone behind the scenes for helping out. We appreciate it. Everyone for tuning in today. TV, radio, podcast, web. We appreciate that. And, of course, up on YouTube Live. We're out of here. Enjoy your evenings. Enjoy the games tonight. We're back tomorrow at...
Everyone should take less. Right, Hazy P?
Everyone.
4 p.m.
We'll chat then.